Oh, c'est beau ça. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Suivant. Ah ouais! Oh, it's a mushroom!
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Whoa!
That's huge.
Can you put your hand just for scale? Whoa! You know that you can eat that thing?
I'm not sure I would.
Well, I cooked that thing
Really?
a long time ago. Yeah. Forgot about that. It's so big.
Yeah.
That's probably our biggest mushroom. Yeah, I thought it was garbage, but so then I realized it's alive. A few days ago, we checked the weather forecast because this is what we've been doing the whole summer, checking for good condition, northern lights, crazy clouds, and I think it was on Thursday we got potentially good conditions, so we pack everything, start to drive a few hours north of Montreal to do some black canvas, meaning late at night, no moon, no blue hour, just pure beautiful reflection on the lake. But everything changed. Suddenly it became super cloudy and we got storm, big storm. We were not equipped for that. We got water in the tent. For once we were not late, and I thought, okay, it would be a good time to do an update. What's in my bag now in 2024? So that's the video. Skip to that timing to see what it is about. The weird thing that happened that night. So we walked a while to reach our final spot during the golden hour, so before the blue hour. There was not a lot of people because it's the end of summer, so it's a camping, but there were some families doing their thing in their campsite. But we were walking on the beach and there was a guy following us a little bit, like coming at us, and I was like, okay, he's doing his evening walk.
That person joined us and just said, well, I saw you pass like not far from me, and I recognized Eric's bun, so I had to come and say hi. So it turns out it's someone who's been following our journey since 2017.
He's a light painter. So
he's a light painter.
These are his images.
It was such a nice surprise. Since James was with us, Eric was like, well, would you like to stay with us? He was like, yeah, I would love to like witness or like look at you if you don't mind. And we're like, you could actually help us. Eric gave him a camera so we could have some handheld footage of the process, which we never have.
Yeah, that's something we're missing a lot because it just came in eye most of the time, and so my camera is on a tripod, nothing is moving. But what was super cool to have him with us, that he was following me, so it's just like different kind of footage than what we get normally. So thanks for that. I just spoke with him just to know if he was okay to have his name on our video.
So we were a team of 3 people that night.
And great. He made our night. I was so happy, so excited about that. It was a short night because clouds became much more violent, the wind, lightning, and suddenly she said,
I don't feel safe anymore.
So we stopped, and it turned out we have only one image, and not exactly what we wanted to do, but super interesting. We're always looking for great clouds. I love clouds, especially these ones. And then we rushed our way back to the tent, and it started to rain like crazy.
Rain.
Yeah, and I didn't know, but the tent is not really waterproof, so we have to be careful next time. Okay, that's it. So what's in my bag in 2024, starting now. Well, it's much heavier than 2 years. Was it 2 years ago? Like we did that "What's in my bag" video. Feels like it was yesterday. And it was a similar setup, picnic table, camping, Quebec style. Yeah, it's much heavier. Actually, it's not even the same bag. Remember, I have the small red backpack that I still use today to pick up the groceries. I became much heavier about 2 years ago when I started to work with 3 cameras. I carry that for long distances with much heavier tripods also that were not part of the deal, I think. Did you watch that video recently? I don't, so I'm not exactly sure what I had, but I know that I'm stronger because I train way much more for the only purpose of being able to carry this bag and you if you break a leg. So what's in this bag? I'm going to put that here because that's not everything. I also have the tubes right here, tube tribe. So this one is much lighter because I don't put the tripods. Well, I have the small ones, but I don't put the big ones in there for the moment because I have way too many tubes. It doesn't fit, so that's why I have a heavy weight on the back and then shoulder strap with the tubes. Stylish. We're going to start with this one. It's so colorful, so let me start by saying, so I chose this bag. Remember how painful it was for you to watch me try to find a new bag because I had so many. Oh look!
Yeah, I know.
There's a chipmunk. Dennis, zoom in the chipmunk.
Oops, I lost it. I lost it.
I wanted a bag that can open all the way because I was really tired of going, like having to go deep in the bag to find one thing. So this one I can really open it. It's way more comfortable to carry a bigger weight. I'm going to unstrap the top, the 2 side things that handle the tripods, and there are 2 more ones at the bottom to hold the opening. This is what it looks like normally. This is a serious photographer bag.
Eric has 3 cameras of the same models, and the best way to differentiate it is
color.
by color.
Yeah.
So colors and textures. This is obviously my favorite one.
Okay, it looks like it's a joke, but I'm really doing this. So I've been using other kind of tubes or pouches for my cameras for a long time, but I want to have more colors. This is why I got these. But when they arrived, I thought they were too small, and Kim figured out that it's actually a better solution than the one I was using. So can you show what you just said?
It's not so much about the padding as it is about protecting the camera from the scratches and stuff, but mainly the lenses. Maybe this is not a good example. When you have
But it holds everything together. That's
yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure.
So even if the lens cap falls off, you're sure that it's gonna stay there. It's not gonna move around, and you're not gonna get scratches on your lens, which is the most important thing.
This is changing everything. Can you put it on your head? Because that's the main purpose of these things normally. Yep. I'm gonna wear the pink one. All right. Okay, and just for the thumbnail. How do we take a picture now?
So you have multiple pouches?
Yeah, so same thing with pouches. I have different colors for everything. So the one you're currently unpacking is the red one for the triggers. So you're currently taking out the flashlights from this. So I had to change my flashlight pouch this morning because now I have too many of those.
Yeah. Soon you'll need an extra bag.
Just for the flashlights. Yeah. This is temporary. So this is going to continue for a long time, except if we travel and I have to be lightweight. The flashlight is a temporary thing. I would never travel with that many flashlights. Is that it? I'm going to take a picture. If that's it. What a mess.
It could be sexier.
Do we have time?
Yeah, but maybe you don't want to film me doing all that. That's going to be boring.
It's going to take a long time, so we're going to speed up that part. Oh, that's clean. Wow, wow, wow. What a great job, Kim.
What do you want to start with?
We'll start with the cameras, just as last time. Still really love the R5 because it does everything I need for my usual light painting work, which is photo but also video, and it's so great. Like, I press one button, I switch from video to photo. It's so efficient working with this, and I know that there's a new model that is going to be available in a few weeks, but there's nothing that I really need because the new model is all about being faster, AI things, and things that are not really relevant for me, at least from what I've learned from the specs so far. So I'm sticking to this one. I'm so used to it. So this is a great tool, my favorite camera ever that I've for the light painting work that I do. I'm not sponsored by anyone. It's just these are the tools that I use. These are the tools that I make. The reason why I shoot with 3 cameras these days, and it's not fun, it's heavy, I have to run from one to the other, but I'm shooting with sometimes video, sometimes photos, sometimes different focal lengths, sometimes horizontal, vertical, and having all of those possibilities with the same camera is so efficient. I can like go from photo to video just by pressing one button. I'm ready to roll. I know the cameras very well because the buttons are at the same place on all of them. But of course it's not the same focal length. So sometimes I'm gonna be at 14 millimeters horizontal, and then I have a 20 millimeters vertical one side by side, and then a 35 to film a close-up of Kim's body and the light painting, so I can have a better quality of that part that I can put on top. So it's getting a bit fancy, but this is my current workflow and it works very, very well. I have a L bracket on each of the camera, which allows me to go quickly from horizontal to vertical. I know there's that thing that you can mount on the camera that allows us to go even faster, but it blocks the trigger port on this model. So unfortunately, I have to stick with this L bracket, but it's fine. I've been using that for such a long time. The 4 lenses I have on the table are 35 millimeters, 20, 14, and 50. And this is all that I've been using the whole summer. Don't need any other things. These are only prime lenses that can open at f1.2, 1.8, 1.4. So I can shoot with the Milky Way, the stars, the northern lights. I can do everything with these 4 lenses. Next, the triggers. These have been the same for probably 10 years now. I don't even know if they're going to make a new version at some point. It's the Yongnuo 603. I had some problems in the past maintaining the bold mode because of the problem with the constant connection between two units. But by doing only manual, it's so easy. Press the button, starts the exposure on all 3 cameras at the same time. So I have 5 on the table. I always have 5 with me if I have 3 cameras. That means 3 triggers, 1 on each camera, 1 in my hand, the one with black tape so we don't see any lights, and 1 extra because I drop 1 in the water once in a while. It keeps working. I've been using the same for 6 years now, the same units. So these are very reliable. There are 2 of those that I put in the washing machine dryer and it went out working perfectly. Many of them have gone in the lake right here and they're still working. So they're very rusty but still working great. I have 4 cables because we have 3 cameras, so 1 cable per camera and 1 extra. So the way it works is that we connect cable on the trigger and then this goes on the camera, and then I have another one in my hand, press the button, sends the thing out to this one, and it triggers the camera. Okay, we continue with the filming equipment. I have 2 small cameras that I attach to my cap. This is to film the action from my point of view. So when I go behind you, when I go to see my cameras, I really love filming my my knee where it looks like my bald head. So this is the holder for that camera. I can take it out. Why do I have two of these? It's not a backup, it's just that the battery doesn't last very long. I can film 15 minutes on one, then I switch to the other one, and I'm done, because when it starts to get too dark, I cannot use it. It's not good in low light. There's a phone here that I don't use to film the scene at all. I use this phone to tether the camera to film the monitor itself. Okay, so, and that's super interesting, and it's just about showing the process. It's not useful for the picture itself. It's not a good tool. It's annoying because it's another thing to manage, but I find it super interesting just to show what's happening at the back of my camera, as you can see from this sequence here, where you see everything up to the point where I take the shot, because at that point the camera cannot show the action, but you see the final picture right after the shot is done. So to connect my phone to a camera, I use this HDMI capture card with a special USB-C cable, and here we have HDMI that goes on the camera. So camera to HDMI to capture card to USB-C on the phone, and this is the holder. So I put this one either on a small tripod or directly on the hot shoe. But as I'm using a trigger, I stack everything, so trigger and then the phone holder. So this thing here is a plate for a tripod, but I can remove it and then I can put it on the hot shoe or the cold shoe. That's it for what's filming. And this is a cool thing. This is a level, so I can be sure if I'm level or not. So it's magnetic, so it's quite cool because you can be more precise with this, because the level on the camera is really not precise. So when I can nail the level in camera, I get a slightly better quality. Not scientific, it's just what I think. Because every time you rotate, you lose some quality. Every time you rotate in like in post, you lose a little bit of quality. And you can try that, like you rotate back and forth and you see that the image is degrading. So if you do it once, I guess it's okay, but I try to avoid having to correct the level. Going to continue here with the tripods. Why do I have 5 tripods? I have 2 heavy ones, but sometimes I prefer to work with smaller ones depending on the location. But I have an extra one for the phone that is currently filming. So this phone is sometimes going to film some vertical behind the scenes shot. Okay, now we have a bunch of tools here. I have my headlamp with a warm gel on top. This allows me to get white color even with when we film late at night with a white balance of 3200. Then we have a knife and pliers. I use that pretty much every night because my tripods are so stiff that I need pliers to unscrew. We have the tape, the Allen keys. Okay, now let's move to the flashlights. Look, he's eating something. I don't see it. Okay, so someone left some corn.
Don't feed the animals.
Okay, flashlights.
Back to the flashlights.
Flashlights. So I have so many flashlights on the table. On the previous video, I had only this model, the Olight Warrior, whatever the model that is. So I was using only one, and I had a backup, and that was it. Life was simple. The reason why I have so many on the table is because this is the summer of the double tubes, and I did double tubes many years ago, but I was using two buttons and it was not very efficient. So what we're doing this year is combining 2 flashlights with 1 single button. So as you can see, we did some butchery here. Instructions coming soon. And I have 3 kits of double flashlights. So this one only does continuous. So when I press 1 button, I get continuous light on the 2 of them. And then I have this one here that does only strobe and strobe, which gives us that kind of result. And then the other one, which is my favorite, that does strobe and continuous. So mixing strobe and continuous is amazing. I really love doing this. So when I go a bit more lightweight on the plane, I'm probably going to bring only this, 3 flashlights. Something about the flashlight. So as you can see, we have a copper tube on top of each, and I explained that many times in the past, but this is to put a plug on top. That is a dimmer. So we punch these little plugs with holes, and the more holes, the more light that goes through. So more light, brighter tube, you know. So it's a not very fancy way to dim the flashlight, because none of these flashlights have an internal dimmer. There's no way to dim, especially with strobe mode. So by using something on top of the flashlight, I know that I always get the same exposure, no matter if I use strobe or continuous. Okay, backup batteries for everything, flashlights, cameras, etc. This one here is a lens cleanup kit. We have recording items, so the small wireless recorder with a lavalier mic. I have this one here that is an onboard mic, so when I stack everything, like the trigger, the phone and the mic, piles up, making a tower with this. Can you hear that? I see it. And then the tubes, I have so many tonight, and it's a bit of a luxury to go on a trip like this by car, because I can bring many tubes. Cannot do that when I travel. But as I know that it's going to be a very colorful night, and we have a lot of space in the car, I brought so many tubes tonight. And when I say it's going to be a colorful night, is that I know we're going to shoot in the dark without using the background, meaning like a pitch black background, what we call the black canvas. And when we do this, all the colors are available, which is not the case if we shoot with the blue hour. I'm not going to use like a red tube, it just doesn't make sense. So I have so many of them here. You can do the list quickly. Because I'm using 2 flashlights, some of them are doubled. So I have 2 alien here, but I use those mostly with the Northern Lights. Today I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I have 2 sugar, which this is my favorite tube. So the new sticker and the old one. Red tube that I've never used. It's going to be a first tonight. Pinkish tube, very useful with the stars, the Milky Way. Rainbow trout, very colorful. I have the winter tube that I normally use in the snow, but I think I'm going to try it today. I have the black tube that we use to put some other things on top. Watermelon, rainbow, sunset, orange, cotton candy, yellow, amber, Easter, gold, red, pink, and the rose bronze too. Then we have the caps, white one to bounce back the light at the top of the tube. So this simply goes on the tube, and it creates kind of a line at the top of the tube. And the black one is just to block the light. But when we're not using the caps, we're using the feather, and this has been a big part of the summer. These feathers, such a game changer. If you've seen our work for the past 9 years, we've been working with feathers that looks like real feathers, or if we use holographic, we even cut that looks like a feather. But this is different because it's much easier to insert and to get great colors. I can't believe the solution was that simple. It took us so long to figure that out. So the way I use it these days, simply do this. That's it. So I put my flashlight here, the light goes through and hits the feather, and you see with that natural curve, you get a lot of colors, a lot of light that bounces on the feather. So on one side, we left the whole holographic material. On the other side, we made it dark. So if you want to have a gap instead, you can do the same here. So you can flip them from one side to the other, and don't be afraid to bend them like this if you want to have a more straight line. So if you don't bend it, the light's going to fade gently, which is great. But sometimes you want like a more sharp edge, then you just bend it and boom, the light hits right there, and that part is going to be brighter, making that sharp edge. So these days I'm always using it on the color side, and I match the color between the tube and the feather. So this is a sugar tube, sugar feather. And last thing on the table, the squares, the light painting squares. I don't think I'm going to use that tonight, but I always have them with me just in case. We already have so many videos about these, so we'll put some link below. I think that's it for this video.
It's good.
It's good? Is it?
I think we covered everything. You mentioned it, but just reiterating that this is what's in your bag when we can carry a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If we were to take a plane or multiple flights to go somewhere.
Let's talk about that. So I go back on the table because we had just one trip by plane so far this year, and I brought 2 cameras, meaning this stayed home, but also I didn't need an extra trigger and flashlight. I used only the O-light with the magnetic switch. And tripods, I think I brought one big and one small. So yeah, I can still travel lightweight. And the tubes, I think I had 10 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not,
so half.
how many again?
I think it was 22.
22 tubes. Wow, that's a lot.
Maybe like half of it for now.
Well, now it's time to eat. I'm gonna use this table. What's the problem with my hair?
There's no problem. It's like you have some flames on top of your head.
Flames?
Yeah.
Okay. But is it approved? Okay, can we put that online or it's too much?
Well,
I don't know.
Wow. Well, turn around.